All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of The Boss Babes. And I apologize right off the bat. Sorry, I don't really have a voice because I just got back from the vineyard. I'm over here rocking my Jaws t-shirt that I got right
You had
from
a
the
crazy
vineyard.
weekend.
I had a crazy wild weekend. We're going to get into that in a sec. And I have my my Jaws shark tooth necklace on. But we're here for The Boss Babes. As you guys know, we go behind the scenes with some of your favorite athletes and sports entertainers. And we take you guys both on the field and off the field, and we showcase what these people do outside of sports. We get deep inside what they do with their families, what their favorite food is, where they like to eat at restaurants, and also some of their favorite charities. So we all know that Emma's on her wedding, and she's at her honeymoon right now.
She's on her honeymoon now.
She's on her honeymoon now.
She's having fun. She's in Puerto Rico, right?
She just landed in Puerto Rico. So my special guest right now is Andrea Cadigan. This lovely woman actually is a Patriots cheerleader in the NFL, which is so great. So we're going to chat with you all about that. But how have you been?
Good. I think the last time I was on this show, it was your first episode ever.
It was. So Andrea was on the very first episode ever, and it was actually, to this day, still one of my favorites.
I had so much fun. Yeah, that was a few weeks ago now? When did you start?
That was like back in June. Time flies.
It was in June?
It was back in June, and it's like September.
Wow, I thought that was like the beginning of September, but...
I know, time flies.
Time flies. There's been so much that's gone on since then, so...
A lot has gone on.
It's exciting to be back.
We're going to kick it off with Eric Snyder. He is amazing. He actually took this photo of Emma at her wedding. Mm-hmm. So we're going to pop this up just a sec. So shout out to Eric. He got this photo to me really fast. So Eric Snyder is a great local photographer. He actually shoots with Andrea, and Robert Hare was there as well. They shoot for the Pat's calendar,
Yeah,
correct?
they used to. Eric and I mean, we go back so far. I've known Eric. He shot my sister's wedding.
Wow.
Like 7 years ago. So, yeah, Eric and I go back. And then Rob, I met through the Patriots. They both, were the photographers for our calendar trips. So, yeah, it was really exciting.
They're both
seeing these photos. I was like, wow, they do such a great job doing swimsuit calendars and weddings.
And weddings, yeah. It's kind of great to see that they can be versatile and do a little bit of everything. But I had a lot of fun with them because I've also known Eric for a while. But yeah, congratulations to Mrs. Reed now. So when she's back here in a couple weeks, we're going to talk to her about her wedding and honeymoon. Next up, we have a really awesome photo of Gordon Hayward. So Gordon Hayward, as you guys know, plays for the Celtics. I love his family, and he's a big-time gamer. He's actually one of the best in the world. So I've heard from Mr. Bossman Magazine himself, Matt Robato, happened to mention that. But yeah, so Gordon Hayward actually just recently visited Boston Children's, and he played some video games with these kids, and I think that's incredible. He has a charity called Extra Life for Kids, where he goes to these different hospitals, shows up, plays some video games, and just has a fun time with them. So I think that is cool. How awesome do you think that is? I know you're involved with a lot of charity stuff too, so when you see other athletes doing stuff like that, doesn't that just put a smile on your face?
It does. It's so interesting to see all the different charities. I feel like there's so many out there that to see something like this, and he's such a big gamer, it's different, and I love it.
I absolutely love it. We're going to switch on over to James White. So James White obviously plays for the Patriots. I actually loved him. He gave us a really good interview. He actually spoke with Emma. Congratulations to him. I wonder if his wife popped her kid out or not. So his wife was like super pregnant. She's drop dead gorgeous. And I actually found out that I was like, Emma, you have to ask him why his nickname is Sweet Feet, because his charity was called Sweet Feet for something to do with bowling. It was
bowling. Strike a cause against.
Yeah, Sweet Feet for strikes. There we go. Matt's over there like, yes. So Sweet Feet for strikes, and he was actually there. It was a big bowling event where a lot of the Patriots players, Tom Brady actually showed up, and essentially they raised a ton of money for Boston Medical Center. Mm-hmm. So that was super cool, and I literally said to her, ask him why that's his nickname, and I guess he got it from one of his high school teachers, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I love it. I love a good story behind a nickname.
I love the good story. We're going to actually pop that up in one of our Boss Babes extras at some point. But congratulations. I don't know if the wife gave birth or not, but I'm super excited. And it's cool to see the Patriots come together and raise money for Boston Medical Center. Next up, we have Julian Edelman. So we're going to pop a picture up of him. So Julian Edelman plays the New England Patriots.
Lots gone on this week.
A lot has gone on. So we're going to talk about Julian, because not only are they dominating this season, they're 3-0, but not only are they winning, but it's like huge wins. So what is it like on the field with people going crazy?
It's awesome. Every year you go into it, the Patriots are a strong, competitor. But being there, the first few games we've had some pretty easy competition, I think.
It's true.
So that's always nice to kind of start strong, but it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. We've had some things happen throughout the week that have been exciting and then, tragic at the same time. So to see what we do moving forward will be interesting.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how the season's going to pan out, but I think that they're going to keep dominating. I think one of the only good games that we're going to be able to see is the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be a great one.
Cowboys, I think, will be a good game as well.
The Cowboys will also be a good game, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Patrick Mahomes. I always joke around and say that watching the Patriots play, especially this season, it's like watching a D1 college team play like a Pop Warner, like a bunch of 12-year-olds or like 6-year-olds, because they're just like running house. Like the song that you guys play, "This is our house." Literally, like that should be all the theme songs that they play 24/7 because they're literally just like running house.
Let's see how we do throughout the rest of the season.
I know I don't want to jinx it too much, but
I hope so.
So we hope so. But more about Julian Edelman. So let's talk about the Boston Man magazine cover.
Yeah.
So you guys just shot together, and we just had the Boston Man event last week, which was so much fun. So talk to me about shooting with Julian and when we could see this magazine.
Yeah, so that was a week ago now, but it was exciting. He was really excited to do it. He's the cover of the October issue of Boston Man magazine, and he was really happy to be there. Seeing him on the field, he's super competitive. He does his job, and then off the field, he's just all around a good guy. He's not from Boston, so he was like very honored to be on the cover of Boston Man magazine. And the event went awesome. You were there as well. We had a lot of people that showed up. Matt Roboto I can't see him. Is he in here?
Matt is being a little sneak attack.
I was gonna say I can't see him. You keep saying Matt, but I'm like I don't see Matt. I see him right now. But yeah, he does a great job with everything. The events, it's awesome.
Yeah, he always puts on a great event. The next one will actually be, I think, October 22nd. I'm trying to get him to do like a Halloween theme.
Yeah.
I'm like, Matt, we have all these ritzy people going, but can we try to get them to wear some Halloween costumes?
Party?
Or maybe our special guest, who we're going to be introducing very shortly, maybe he can make some like cool outfits for us. I know he strictly does like great tailored suits, but maybe he can make some like fun Halloween stuff for people. I don't know.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have to ask Alan when we get him in. But so Alan Rouleau is incredible. He actually grew up in the area. We're going to be rolling his tape shortly, but this gentleman not only has a really cool barbershop on Newbury Street, but believe it or not, you can go in, have a glass of whiskey, get your beard like tailored to perfection, which Julian Edelman actually did, and you're going to see that in the video. He got groomed right at the barbershop. So like basically everything that we're talking about right now kind of like tapers into one, so I'm so happy. So he actually was there and shot part of it at Alan Rouleau Couture on Newbury Street. That's part of the showcase, I think, for that magazine, correct?
Yes. So he came in. I feel like that beard is so iconic. Like it's hard to let anyone touch it. So him coming in and letting them groom and kind of brush his hair, like that's a big deal. I think that in itself is a story.
That in itself is a story. So I'm super excited to hear about this now. So let's roll Alan's tape, learn a little bit about him, and now we're going to ask him about Julian Edelman and how that went down. So let's roll the tape.
Hi, I'm Alan Rouleau. You're in my showroom at 125 Newbury Street, home of Rogue Barbers and Alan Rouleau Couture. We're a custom tailoring shop. We've been on Newbury Street 28 years, in business in Boston for 32. I'm born and bred in Massachusetts. I've lived here my whole life. To actually open up an old school barbershop. I've always wanted to be able to have a place where you can do straight razor shaves, and master barbers, kind of a dying art that's becoming a strong revival actually in the men's industry. So combining the grooming side and the dressing side seemed a natural fit for us to come in, and then being able to hire master barbers like John Molino and Travis Bone, we're able to offer not only classic haircuts coming in for both father and young sons, We're also doing straight razor shaves, 3 different levels, and we're also just added a whole new line of facials for men. Something new that men probably not used to doing, not going into a salon per se to do it, but encouraging men to take better care of themselves, just as well as we do with the men's clothing side. This is my dressing room, so I keep most of my sports memorabilia in here. So we'll have Red Sox players, Patriots players. That was Tim Wakefield. I was working with Nomar Garcia-Parra back in the day. We have the Celtics over here winning a championship. I have a great artist in South Boston, did Coach Belichick's picture right there. The coach has been a great client of mine for a number of years. I help him dress when he's off the field, specifically when he's doing his charity events like the Bill Belichick Foundation and the Think Pink and the events he goes to, such as the Kentucky Derby or a golf classic. I realized that giving back was going to be a big part of my repertoire. Actually, that we've never turned down a charity ever. So from golf events to, we target a lot with children. And in the recent years, we've actually done more with people with disabilities and handicaps who might have had not the ability to access the correct dress for whatever the handicap they have. So I started working with the Courageous Faces Foundation about 3 years ago. Met a gentleman named Reggie Bibbs from Houston who has neurofibromatosis. It's a condition where your tumors grow in the nervous system. It's similar to elephant man's disease, and it's uncomfortable, and it can be fatal, and it leads to your body not staying in shape the way it should be. So we were able to create a wardrobe for this gentleman in Houston.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in, and we apologize for those technical difficulties, but we will have that edited for you so you can see the cleaner version afterwards. But let's kick this off.
Without further ado, let's introduce Mr. Alan Rouleau.
Hey ladies, how are you today?
Thank you for being with us tonight. I feel like
awesome.
I've seen you almost every day throughout the week.
In the last 2 weeks, pretty close.
Started with the Edelman shoot, then the Boston Man event, and here we are today.
And you look very dapper, by the way.
All in 1 week.
Yep.
Well, you told me we had a red background, so we had to kind of figure out what we're gonna do.
I know. What are we gonna do next week now?
I don't know.
To keep this going.
I can next Monday. I'm free. I'm free. We're good.
And you look so handsome. What you're wearing, is this one of your own?
It is. You know, black is slimming. So at this point,
yes,
we're gonna make it work.
It's fall. You know, you're always gonna see us in black. I have green on now, but I figured I could pass. Today was like 80 degrees.
Yeah,
so.
like Andrew walked in today. I'm like, you look like workout Barbie, and she's like, yeah, I'm trying to get in wearing the bright pink or the bright green.
Well, it's hot.
One last time. I thought of the
away.
pink because of the Barbie stuff, but the bright green because it feels like summer, so why not do it?
Yeah, it was a good balance.
Definitely.
I'm in dark. I'm good. I blend into my chair.
Mm-hmm.
You
Perfect.
look amazing.
Now, you have your first shop on Newbury Street, right? That's your
correct.
own. Yes.
That's correct.
Where did it start?
Yeah, we actually started in Faneuil Hall back in 1987.
Wow.
In a small retail store that did custom, and then realizing that the retail store part was not really my forte, and as the custom took a build, we expanded out and went on to Newbury Street in 1991. So we basically been on Newbury Street 28 years.
Yes.
In the clothing side.
And I love it. I mean, I've been in there a few times. Have you been into the shop?
I actually, I was there for that shoot, and I loved it. Sonia was actually sitting next to us. You go in there, and you literally feel like you're at home. It's not just a place where you get tailored.
Very comfortable, for men to come in and get that like old-fashioned groom, shave, a scotch.
Yeah, the whole concept originally on the clothing side was to take away the stigma of the high-end luxury clothing, afraid to approach kind of thing, and kind of bring it down to a level where we had to be approaching especially for my clients. So you wanted to be able to go in there and put everybody at ease. You want to find out where their balance are, and then work with them on whatever they need at that point.
Yeah.
The grooming side of it was a project I've been working on actually since 2001, about 18 years.
Yeah.
And the timing was right. you're grooming somebody, you're dressing somebody, and then they go like, I need a haircut,
Yeah.
or I need to do this, or I need to do that, and truthfully, and we can probably all agree on this, that nobody has time. Mm-hmm. Our time, the 9-to-5 job gig is like non-existent. So if you can find areas of your life that you can condense into like one location, and you can do 2 or 3 multiple things going there, it makes the rest of your day.
It all just came together so well. And for guys, when did they really take care of themselves? When did they ever get groomed or, right?
The men's grooming industry has been growing exponentially over the last 15, 20 plus years. But in the last 5 to 7 years, I say it's really taken a life of its own. A younger client base, guys that I never would have thought of in their 20s and 30s, have been taking a major interest in how they look.
Yeah.
In the dressing side also, but more on the grooming side. And we've been able to teach them on a ground level coming in, and hiring my master barbers, Travis Bone and Johnny Molino, have been awesome. They fit the millennial perspective. Mm-hmm. They're both totally OCD in their art. And watching them during the day is like watching an artist.
Yeah.
They are so specifically meticulous on their clients.
It's like a canvas they can work on.
Yeah, you can go into a chain barbershop and get in and out of there and whatever and wait, and it's a factory line going in. We're the opposite. Mm-hmm. We're the new boutique line of barbershop that we want to be. I didn't want to open up just a barbershop.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the best barbershop in the city. So what we do is, with the barbers as well, they take the same applique as I do towards my clients in custom, and they've applied it to grooming. Mm-hmm. So we've got introduction to younger guys coming in for the grooming and learning about clothing, and then my existing clients on the clothing side coming into a whole new effect on the grooming side.
Yes.
So what I kind of like what you're doing is you're almost teaching these guys to look good, feel good about themselves, and not just women. Like, women like to go get manicures, the pedicures, they get
we
their
love
hair
to go
done.
to the spa. Like, that's something we would do, so it kind of gives
Exactly.
that something for a guy.
You give that, you're allowing men to almost have like a manly spa day. Right?
We're making a lot of girlfriends and wives happy at this point, where they can just come to Newberry Street and they go like, go see Alan and the guys.
Yeah.
And
Like you said, it's a one-stop shop.
it's a one-stop shop.
And something I thought was cool, I remember I talked to Sonia about it a while ago, but even for like wedding parties, saying that, if the guys wanted to come in and get their suits made by Alan, and then before the wedding to come in, get groomed, like who knows, the night before they could be out drinking and they're a mess, they walk in, they can walk right into the shop,
They will be out drinking.
They will.
They will be out
They will. Sorry, ladies. They will be out drinking before the wedding. They can come in, get groomed, and
Because, we all know that the weddings are about the bride.
yeah.
So what happens is, the bride has a checklist of things that have to be done, and the groom is there trying to make sure everything is copacetic before the wedding. So I tell all my guys, look, I'm going to make your life easy, because she's going to ask you all these questions coming in. Mm-hmm. So if you get the guys that come together, and we're gonna organize a 2-hour or whatever on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
If your wedding is Saturday afternoon or evening
Yeah.
coming in, and if you want to, even if I don't make your clothes, if you want to bring everything in with you and have the guys meet you at a barbershop, I'll help dress the guys. We'll do all the trimming and whatever, and then take an Uber or whatever, and you can go right to the hotel.
It's like perfect. Who wouldn't want to do that if you were a guy?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Sonia developed that with me, and we've approached. We did a talk before about 80 concierges for the Boston Concierge Association.
Wow.
And the response back has been phenomenal.
Wow.
And,
I have Louis Bello. I don't mean to cut you
Go ahead.
off, but I have Louis Bello. He's watching right now. Shout out to Louis. So you have a lot of great clientele that comes in. A lot of them are either top name athletes or people in the area, like Louis Bello, who is a really great singer. Louis just said, I got a shave there last week, and it was an amazing experience. So Louis loved his experience there last week.
It took me months to get Louis in, because he's so on the move with his work, and he's always on the go. And I said to him, Louis, you got to come in and I want your feedback. So the last year building the Rogue Barbershop up and building our brand is trying to get people that I know to come in and try it and let me know if you've never had this done before, if you've never had a straight razor beard trim, if you've never had a straight razor shave. come in and try the hot towel wraps, and we're not doing like one hot towel or two. You come in for a beer, you'll be there for 30 minutes. You could go through 3 or 4 hot towels. It'll be the best 30 minutes. You'll spend all day, no phone, relax, and seriously, half the guys fall asleep.
It's a spa for a man.
I actually have Darren McDonald just commented, and he said, Brittany, I've been there years ago. It was a guy's day at the spa. Very classy. Thank you, Alan, for making me feel like family. So, guys, I love the comments that you're sending. If you have any comments, questions for both Alan or Andrea, of course, because she is hosting, but she's a special guest host. Again, she was on episode 1. So if you want to ask her some cheerleading questions, actually, my cousin Juliana is watching right now, and she wants to know what got you into cheerleading. So we'll have you ask that really quick, and then we'll jump back to Alan.
Absolutely.
So that's a great question. I feel like people ask me this a lot, and there's always so much behind it. So I'll give like kind of the short version. But I cheered my whole life. I know I kind of talked about this on our first show, but my mom was a Patriots cheerleader. My sister was a Patriots cheerleader. So it was something I knew I always wanted to do. My grandfather was the doctor, which is how my parents met.
I love that story, by the way.
That's a great story.
Yep. So I tell everyone, I'm like, I was kind of brought here because of the Patriots. So being a cheerleader was just something I always knew I wanted to do. I cheered competitively my whole entire life. And, once you have to be 18 to try out, I waited a few years. And then when I was ready, I tried out. It's
Every birthday that went by, you're like, damn, I'm only 15.
Yes.
Man, I'm only 16. Yes, I can
Well,
try
then I turned
out.
18, and my sister was on the team, and we didn't want to do it together. We wanted our own experience. So even when I was 18, I was like, oh, Erica's still on the team. Like, can't do it yet. But my time came, and I'm there. So it's great. It's been a great experience. I love it. It's my last year, so.
So incredible. Well, enjoy your last year. And again, if you guys have any questions for Andrea, feel free to jump in. But this is Alan's show, so we definitely want questions about Alan, and we need to talk more. We're about to cut to a commercial break shortly, but let's talk about you, the beard, the shoot for Boston Man, and what you guys did with Julian Edelman.
It all started.
It all started
your
with the
shop.
beard.
Everybody came en masse to the showroom. Julian, everybody was there, and it was such a great feel. The showroom is set up to be like a living room. So there's not a first floor retail. There's no lot of outgoing traffic. Basically, when you come in, we want you to feel like it's your place. And I think that immediately put Julian at ease, that it wasn't a lot of people around except for the people that really wanted to be there. And getting him, the guy, he's awesome off the field, and he's just as focused off the field as he is on the field. It was like, he was thrilled to be on Boston Man's magazine. He's a San Francisco guy. He's a West Coast guy. And, we got this saying in our Go Rogue. That's our barbershop. It kind of encompasses the whole look on the grooming and the clothing side.
It's very fitting for this shoot.
Yeah, and you know what? And Julian can kind of fit that.
And he has that nice manly beard that you can play around
with. He's not touching it till like February, he said. So this is his, it's whatever it is coming in.
So the fact that you could touch it was...
Oh, yeah. No, it was good. And his hair and everything else.
He's got the sports superstition. He's not going to cut it until after the season.
But, but he is so focused on what he's doing. And it's remarkable to see that somebody, the NFL players have a short shelf life.
Definitely.
And for the amount of hits this guy takes and what he does,
you wouldn't know he's had that many hits.
It's amazing, because what it does is it comes in, and he was pleasant to everybody, and he was like, let's go, let's make this thing rock.
Well, it seems like he has a really good personality too. Obviously, I follow him on Instagram. Who doesn't follow a lot of these people on Instagram? Like, you guys can follow Andrea, you guys can follow Alan on Instagram. They put up amazing stuff as well. But Julian actually put up a really funny post this morning. If you guys want to go look at his Instagram, it says the Jets, and it says 30-14. And if you look, it looks like a boa constrictor, like the airplane is just like wrapped around.
All tied up. Yeah.
All tied up. And the funny part is, he put up a video earlier, and it sounded like an airplane was landing, and it says, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for flying Patriots Airways. We hope to see you again next week. Enjoy your stay in New England. It's like he has this like humble, funny confidence about it, And he's a great athlete.
They talk about Tom Brady being competitive. So let me tell you something. This Julian is just as competitive.
Yeah.
This is a guy who takes nothing for granted. He is, and I can guarantee you this, and I predict that he will be more successful when he retires from the NFL off the field than he has been in it. That's the same kind of attitude he has now. He's building his own brand. He's got great ideas. He wants to settle in the New England area. He's really embraced the Boston area. I mean, to go on Matt's magazine for a year old, to be able to go on the cover.
That's incredible that he did that.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the interview that was in the magazine that you'll be able to read, and how he embraces the whole area. His whole attitude, you can see why he does what he does on the field.
Yeah.
Just by talking to him.
Yeah.
What do you think was Julian's favorite part about being in your shop? Did he get to try, look at any of the suits? I know he got his beard tapered with, but did he try on any custom suits or ties?
Well, we talked about it. We had people there getting the work done, and because the schedule shifted quick, so the window I had for Julian got pushed up.
Yeah,
so he had to sit in the chair for 10, 12 minutes, and I had a chance to talk with him while he was there, and he was very cool about it. Our client was on the other side with the mirror facing back, going shit, is that Julian Edelman behind me, waiting to get his hair done?
Wow, I booked a good appointment.
He's waiting for me to finish so I can come in and do it. But Julian was really cool about it, and he's 33 years old, and I'm looking at him going you're taking major 10 years in the NFL hits. He's got an idea what he wants to do after. He's looking for ideas. He's in unbelievable shape, which we saw.
Oh yeah.
When he was changing shirts, and I'm looking
at him.
He's
a short guy, but you look
he's
and
not that. He's 5'11".
But his legs and everything were huge.
Are you kidding? I said to somebody, and they said, "What was Julian like?" I said, "It looked like he could bench press a plow horse." This guy was phenomenal, and not only that, he was just such a cool guy to hang out with. And you realize that he's iconic, so he's got a look that you can't not hide in a crowd.
Yes.
So you realize that wherever Boston's a small city, and he lives in the Back Bay, so you walk up and down the street, you're going to have an entourage, following you. But he I didn't even think about getting anything to sign autographs because I didn't even want to bother him. But he was so gracious with people that were there.
Yeah.
And we talked a bit. He talked with Matt about what the magazine was about, and wanted to know what it meant being a legacy member, and how long I was in business. And basically, we were so focused on getting the shoot done, I didn't want to detract from the whole aspect. And
but it's nice that he started to open up and told you.
Yeah, he wanted to know what I did.
Yeah,
so
it's nice to see a guy like that who could talk all about himself.
Yeah,
want to hear about what other people in Boston are doing.
So I just said to him, "Look, we're not a first floor retail store. We're kind of we're a by appointment off. I hate to say off the grid, but we don't even have a sign out front. We never have. So we've gone 32 years in business without any advertising."
So you guys are like Bentley, they just know it. They just know it's the great stuff.
Well, you
just show up and it's there. Think about it. Bentley doesn't need commercials because they're Bentley.
Yeah.
You're like the Bentley of barbershops and tailoring.
Oh, can we use that? Sonia, can we use that? Yeah. The Bentley of barbershops?
Yeah, Bentley of barbershops.
But you take a brand and you look to build a brand on referrals. So your referral base coming up, and we did that with. We started doing that right from the get-go in '87 when I wrote the original business plan and decided that what we did, it was hard to translate into an advertising format. This was before Google and the internet and everything else was coming in. So now you build it up on charities. So we decided to target a certain specific market coming in.
We'll talk about the charities in the second half. We're actually gonna cut to a commercial break shortly, and then when we come back, we're gonna run a charity video, talk about that, get into your charity. But I also want to know about you growing up and why you got into fashion, why you got into tailoring. We want to talk a little bit more about you and a little bit less about the athletes, and I want to talk more about the clothing the second half, how you dress, people like Bill Belichick for the Derby and for his foundations. That's going to be the whole second half of the show.
Well, it's more fun talking about them than me anyway.
That's not what we think.
Well, we're here for you, so I want to know a little bit about you, what got you into this, what got you into fashion. So let's cut to the commercial break. I'm going to come back and talk to you about that.
At Bad Martha, we believe in three things: great beer, getting bad, and doing good. Every sip of our premium craft beer is a reminder that there's a paradise out there where you can kick off your boat shoes, let your hair down, and leave it all behind. That paradise is Martha's Vineyard. And while there's a bit of bad in every drop of beer we brew, there's also a whole lot of good that comes with every bottle we sell. That's because Bad Martha is built on a simple idea: community first. We're proud of our beer, but we're even more proud of the island that inspired it. We hope you enjoy both just as much as we do, and look forward to continuing the tradition in Falmouth at our new location opening summer of 2019. Bad Martha. Get bad, do good.
Herd Restaurant, conveniently located here in Metro Square, features locally sourced, delicious meals created by a multi-talented chef. Herd satisfies even the most discerning palate. We love to welcome you to come to Herd so you may eat, drink, and spend time together. Watch for specials on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter feeds at Herd on Main, and come visit soon.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I groomed the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we get right back into things with Alan, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Boston DM show. It's a new show that Matt Roboto and I started. We'll be filming tomorrow, another episode. You can find us on our social media, Andrea Cadigan at Matt Roboto, and then also at the Boston Man website or Boston Man Magazine Instagram. So we have a lot of things coming up for future events with Boston Man Magazine, the cover shoot with Edelman that we just had last week, and a bunch of other things that are coming up. So I really wanted to get that out there before we jumped back into everything we were doing here tonight with Alan.
And I love all of you guys. So I'm so glad that you're in studio, and everything just kind of like magically fits together. So it's like not even like it's out of place. It's like I go to the Boston Man event. It's like I see Alan and Sonia all the time. Everybody kind of just like supports each other, and that's what I love about Boston and what I love about this community and the great.
I'm pretty sure my mom like grabbed you from an event, was like, "You need to meet Alan and Sonia."
Literally,
and I was like, "Mom, calm down." We're here.
I love Mrs. Cadigan. So
love you, Mom.
Really quickly before we get back into Alan. So we've known each other since we're teenagers for the most part.
So young.
And we used to like model together. Don't know how because I'm like 2 feet tall. But we were at
344.
At 344, we used to model together and do other stuff. And I remember being at a Boston Man event, and literally Mrs. Cadigan comes up, gives me like a big hug, a big kiss on the cheek, and she's like, "You need to go meet Sonia." And here we are. Look at us working together.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's always her first person too, is like Sonia and Alan. Wherever she is, she's like, "You
like,
need
meet
to
them."
meet Sonia and Alan. I'm like, okay.
So thank you, Mrs. Cadigan. You're amazing. But right back to Alan. So Alan, speaking of people being a great network and coming up, living in the area, I want to know all about you. You have like 5 minutes to talk about it because I want to jump into the charity stuff too. But growing up in the area, what got you into fashion? Why did you start making your own clothing?
Well, where did you grow up?
Tailoring.
I grew up in Central Mass. I'm a Leominster guy.
Yeah.
Dean Mazzarella, who's the mayor of Leominster, and I actually grew up about 8 houses from each other. He's the longest tenured mayor in the state of Massachusetts right now.
Where were some of the places that you liked to eat as a kid? Like when your mom and dad or your sisters, brothers, whoever?
My mom, we cooked. I had 5 siblings.
Oh, wow.
We didn't go out to eat a whole lot. Come on, trust me.
Your poor mother.
Yeah,
What did you guys eat for like Sunday dinner?
It was probably pasta.
Pasta?
I grew up with the only non-Italian family in the neighborhood. I grew up with everybody. I've been playing bocce and motte since I was like 5 years old.
Again, your poor mom.
I know.
Was it like eggplant or lasagna or meatballs?
Lasagna, pasta, meatballs, sausage.
All the above.
Whatever was group packaged and enough to feed 6 hungry kids, we were good to go.
It kind of sounds like the Gronkowskis. When we had them in studio, they were talking about the fact that they have to make a ton of food because they grew up with 5 boys. So growing up in the area, what got you interested in fashion and wanting to have this nice, awesome, tailored
It was a change of pace for me.
and ties.
I'll make it really brief. My background is actually in restaurants, bars, and tennis clubs, which I had in my 20s and 30s. I got burnt out in the industry, made a change, moved to Boston, got back into real estate. Was a consultant. I wrote business plans for startups. Wrote somebody a business plan who changed his mind on a clothing store. I decided I would be interested to start it. I wasn't planning on staying in the business. The custom clothing was never a part of my thought process. To me, that was Savile Row, big money. I had no idea, and I would never spend that kind of money on clothing ever. Researching the history of tailoring and custom clothing opened up a whole new facet for me. It was like learning, like upgrading your car and learning better wines. And all of a sudden I was able to figure out that, there's a lot of pride and history in clothing, and more so in Europe than America. The U.S. has a tendency to buy on sale and buy a lot. Europeans would rather have one killer suit than 4 mediocre ones.
Yeah.
That's the European mentality. And it's actually, I think it's slowly trickling over here. I'm finding that a lot more with my younger guys coming in, that they're saving up to buy something special versus going to buy something that's made in China.
Yeah.
Everything we do, we make in the U.S. We have, when our fabrics are imported from Italy and England. My master tailor has been with me 28 years. We don't have a buttonhole machine. We do it all by hand. Wow. We're old school barbers, old school tailors.
I remember when you and I were sitting down and talking, we were basically saying that you like everything old school, word of mouth.
It's because I am old school.
Things done by hand, like that is the way that things should be done, I think.
And suits are things that a guy will get use out of for years.
You mentioned about how did I get into fashion. I don't consider myself a fashion guy. I'm a style guy.
You're not a fashionista?
I'm a style guy. I could care less about fashion. We take people's personality, height, build, and a plethora of other things to develop something for them. I don't care if it's just shirts. I don't care if it's a whole new wardrobe. It makes no difference because, clothing becomes such an individual personality, and even people who have no idea of what they want for clothing, to make them 1 or 2 pieces that takes their ideas and bring it to life, and they look at it and they put it on and they go like, wow, I never would have done this.
Yeah.
And that's what makes my life interesting for me, because I have clients I've made one thing for and haven't seen them in 3 years. I have other clients, we do good sized wardrobes for them. And we basically take a person and dive into their personality and lifestyle, and then we create a portfolio for them where I can kind of keep a running track of what they do and then put things together to fit their lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're 25 or 75. We approach every client exactly the same way.
You've created such strong relationships that will make them want to come back to you. You're really taking the time.
And a referral, hopefully, at some point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you work with great people such as, going along the whole Patriots theme, you've worked, you could touch upon it lightly. You work with people like Bill Belichick for his foundations and for the Derby, which you guys saw in the video that I cut together. Talk to us about, because we know Bill Belichick is this great guy that
Who
just
doesn't
wears.
know Bill Belichick?
Bill's the man. And that's one thing I could say. I hate when the media tries to ham on him and try to get him to talk about stuff.
They have no clue.
They have no clue, and it's like this guy just wants to play his games and win, and he doesn't care about stuff.
You have responsibility with the NFL to be media savvy to a certain point. He'll push the envelope, I think, and he's focused.
Yeah, he's focused. He doesn't want any drama.
His job.
Yeah,
he does his job.
He does his job, and he doesn't want drama said about him. So I kind of like and respect the way that he approaches things. But what is it like working with him and making these custom suits for him? Because we picture him being in the nice cut-off, cute sweaters.
Gray hoodie.
All the
gray hoodies.
all the cutoffs are Bill's style.
That's Bill's style.
My goal is to dress Bill and fit his personality, depending on the occasion that he has off the field. Because off the field, Bill knows quite aware that he's his own brand as well. He has built a legacy with his Belichick Foundation with his dad. Linda Holiday, his girlfriend, runs the foundation. So when he's not on field, he represents the NFL, he represents the Patriots, and he represents himself. So
he does a great job at doing all of that.
He's very conscious of that coming in, and you know, when people ever have a chance to meet him out of the arena, so to speak, they realize how much of a family-oriented guy he is and how genuine he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not shown anywhere else when they come in, but it's trust me.
You've seen him smile once or twice.
It's there. It's there.
It's there.
It's there.
Speaking of great football players, because we're running out of time, I know it's coming up quick. We're going to cut to this video because it's about a former Patriots player, actually, Chris Sullivan, and we're going to touch. It's a little bit sad. It's about overdosing, but we're going to try to highlight that and showcase it in a positive light. So we're going to roll that tape really quickly. We're here today in front of the Walker Building, honoring those that have lost their lives to addiction.
There's been a staggering number of overdoses, just growing and growing each year. But one Marlboro resident has been doing something about it to help raise awareness for this terrible disease that has taken away so many lives in our communities. But not only that, they have also brought in other prominent members from the New England community to come in and speak on their experience. Britt, I know that we do have a New England Patriots former player here today.
Yes, actually, Chris Sullivan is here today. Very excited to speak with him. He's going to be talking to us about his battle with addiction and why he is here helping with the community.
That we're all here, and we're all here together. Nobody needs to do this alone. We're here together to remember the lives lost to this epidemic. We're here in solidarity so that none of us has to go through this alone, and none of us should feel any judgment or stigma.
It was a somber night of remembrance at First Church in Marlboro. Kathy Leonard shares her heartbreaking story of losing her only child to addiction and her motivation for helping others cope with the loss.
I lost my only child, my son Jonathan, at the age of 27 on December 17, 2014 to a heroin overdose. He struggled with heroin for about 7 years prior to that. And, you know, not just because he was mine, but he was a good kid. He was very smart. He was in the National Honor Society. He was a very accomplished musician and athlete and artist. He had a lot of things going for him, but unfortunately he was gripped by the disease of substance use disorder and it took his life. I kind of made it my mission to do that, to help other people. I help grieving families by running a grief support group here at First Church in Marlboro. We meet on the second Wednesday of every month, and I've been doing that since May of 2015. So this event tonight is to mark International Overdose Awareness Day. I'm interested in that and started to do it is because when I heard how many people were dying of overdose just in our state, it was staggering. And I thought it's one thing to hear that number, but it would be another thing to actually see it, to visualize it.
Former New England Patriot Chris Sullivan describes his hard-fought battle with addiction. He also wants to shed light on the stigma of drug addiction and how he finds faith in helping others.
Struggled with addiction after playing for the Patriots and Steelers. Struggled for about 8 years. And I thought I was different. I thought because I played football and I was a college graduate that addiction wouldn't affect me, or I was stronger than it, or it affected a different type of person. And I come to events like this because it affects everyone. Fortunate that I made it through. And I can tell you that the people in the church that are here tonight, the people in recovery, are the people that saved my life. It wasn't the people that I knew from football or the organizations that reached out. It was the people that I thought that I was a little different than or stronger than growing up that saved my life. People do recover, that if you have lost someone, you don't need to suffer alone.
Yeah, guys, so we just wanted to show that to you all to let you know that if you are struggling with addiction or you have a family member that just recently passed away or has passed away in the past, that it's not the end of the light. Like, you can go, you can recover from this. What I love about Chris is that, again, he's a former New England Patriots player, struggled with addiction. He actually had a Super Bowl ring at the vigil, and he literally said, you know what, guys, as he was speaking, my Super Bowl ring doesn't mean as much to me as this recovery ticket that I have with me. And he pulled them both out. He's like, yes, my athletic accomplishments mean a lot to me, but the fact that I made it through recovery, this is why I'm still alive, and this is why I'm able to be here with you guys today and be the support for you all. So that's why I want to show that.
Reach out.
If you need help, reach out, and I like that.
So important.
Andrea's going to take over with Alan.
But speaking of charitable work, Alan, I want to talk about what you do, some of your charities.
That's my main focus. That's how we get our name out. We actually work a lot of local. We work with the Harvest for Hope Foundation in South Boston. Stephen Lynch, Congressman Lynch's wife, Margaret, is one of the chair people on it. It's for the Galvin House recovery program that they do. We also work with Ken Casey and the Clatta Foundation, Team Impact. And we're a big supporter of Bill Belichick Foundation for youth activities. Anything basically local that we can work with, we do.
And talk about what you do with these organizations.
Well, we'll do anything from doing live work and gift certificates.
Yeah.
So we'll do big packages with them that they can actually bid on the auction.
Yeah.
To actually help raise money for the foundations and for the different charities that we do.
Well, I loved it. You actually, for the Boston EKG Project, one of our charities, donated a package as well, which was awesome. So it's great that you can do that.
And not only do you donate packages, but I know that you recently did something with Natasha Verma. You were at her event.
The Cap Walk Foundation.
You were there, and you have like 20 seconds to talk about it. I'm gonna have to come in and have you interview again at some point because you have so many fun things going on. But not only do you donate to these charities, but you also help dress some people that have specific disabilities, which we showed in the video. So can you lightly touch upon that?
We people with disabilities, with major disabilities like cystic fibrosis or spina bifida, dwarfism. You
can tailor outfits for them.
We custom made them outfits basically through the Courageous Faces Foundation in Colorado.
Wow.
With Reggie Bibbsy, who was on our earlier pilot.
I love that.
Yeah, neurofibromatosis. It's a dreadful disease.
Well, guys, unfortunately, we have to wrap this up. You were incredible. Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
I wish we had more time.
I wish we had more time. We're going to have you guys come back in. Andrea, it's always a pleasure. You guys should follow them both on social media. So Alan Rouleau on Instagram and Facebook. He's always putting up amazing things on there.
Sonia is actually.
Sonya's the one that runs the social media. And
you can't see her, but she's here. But mastermind.
Andrea, where can we find you on social media?
At Andrea Cadigan.
And I'm always tagging her in all my stuff all the time. And you guys can see her on the field this football season. And of course, follow the Boss Babes. We always have great people in studio, and you'll see us probably at some Boston Man events together.
So, and at Boston Man Magazine.
Boston Man Magazine, Boss Babes, Alan Rouleau. Positive Pop, we just want to give a shout out to Emma and congratulations to finding your soulmate. Emma. Have fun, and we'll see you guys back here in a couple weeks. Love you guys.
Love you. Good night. Thanks, guys.
Love you all.